Matt Canavan, welcome to 7:30.
Good to be with you, Sarah.
Are you relieved that Barnaby Joyce has finally made a decision after his prolonged dance of the seven akubras, as Crikey called it?
Not really. I mean, I don't want to lose anyone from our team. You've got a small team in the Nationals Party for a start, and it's very, very hard to win a seat in Parliament. And it's been disappointing for the Nationals Party in that we haven't lost a seat at a general election since 2007. But in the last 3 years, there's been three people that have just left our party room. Now, I think leaving our party room like that does betray the voters that put them there as a Nationals Party member. So I'm disappointed in that. I've expressed that disappointment to Barnaby, much to no avail. But look, I'm still mates with Barnaby. It'll be a bit weird being on different sides of the football paddock if that's what happens. But hey, I got plenty of mates in the Labor Party as well, so that doesn't stop me still having a beer with people.
Why do you think your arguments were not persuasive?
Well, you'd really have to ask Barnaby that. I don't know. I just didn't do a good enough job, I suppose, Sarah. But look, I mean, he's been public about his reasons. I think he'd be much more effective in the Nationals Party. I'm very much focused on getting better outcomes for the Australian people right now. Our energy grid is destroyed. We're losing manufacturing jobs left, right and centre. I think we've got to get off this net zero chain, which is an obsession now. The problem is we're just obsessed about this one pursuit here in Canberra, and that's why small businesses are feeling the pain. It's why manufacturing is going out the back door. We've just got to have a much better balance. And I think Barnaby can help restore that balance because he's a very effective politician. He'd do it better in the Nationals Party.
Let me just ask you about that. Is David Littleproud worth more to the Nationals than Barnaby Joyce, or the other way round?
No, I think it's like asking me, Sarah, which one of your children do you like the most? They're all special. All of the people in the Nationals Party room are very, very special. Guess what? They all get one vote in the Parliament, and it's very, very important, that vote. It's the thing that we have that effectively amounts to action, not just talk. And we really need all those votes if we want to make changes for the betterment of the country. We ultimately need 76 in the House and 39 in the Senate. So I know those numbers very well. Don't want to lose anybody from the Nationals Party, including Barnaby.
If Barnaby Joyce does join One Nation, where will he and One Nation pose the biggest threat to coalition seats?
Look, I mean, I don't know. I haven't done enormous analysis on that. I'd make the point, though, that Pauline Hanson started her career, is from the outer suburbs of Brisbane. I think there is a misconception that somehow One Nation is just or only sort of a regional country phenomenon. In fact, when you get into the real bush out in rural areas, the One Nation vote's not all that high at all typically. The discontent we're seeing across Australia is very much concentrated in our outer suburbs, and yes, in our larger regional cities. The reasons for that are pretty clear. People just don't think things are as good as they used to be. Real wages are back to 2011 levels, and for those people that have less income, which typically is, it's tougher out there in the outer suburbs and in the region sometimes, your budgets are finely balanced. If you lose that, if you go down to that from your expenses being 19S and 20D and they're over £20, like Charles Dickens would say, you're in big trouble. You're in big, big trouble. And that's where people find themselves right now under this government and this radical net zero agenda.
Do you see any comparison with the rising popularity of One Nation and the rise of the Reform Party under Nigel Farage in the UK?
Look, I suppose suggested there that there's no doubt to my mind that many people in this country, and I presume other countries, I don't know them as well, but many people right across Western countries just don't feel like their governments are doing the best for them. They feel that they see their governments representing agendas that get more acclaim at the United Nations than they do in their own nation.
But why would Matt Canavan, why is it One Nation that is succeeding in making that appeal rather than the Nationals or the coalition at the moment? What have they got that you haven't got?
We signed up. We did. I've been very honest and upfront and been critical of my own side from time to time. We signed up to the net zero agenda. Now we've corrected that mistake, and I firmly believe that it is through the Liberal and National parties that will form a better government for this country. But there's no doubt in my mind that we made mistakes. We just got thrashed by the biggest amount since World War II. Clearly, we made mistakes. I think we lost focus.
And do you think this?
I'm in the Parliament to look after the Australian people. That's what I need to stay focused on.
Do you think the recent change will stem the tide of votes going to One Nation?
I don't know, but it's the only way, Sarah. The only way is to listen to people and act on their behalf. And so we have a problem right now. We have a real problem with people not being able to afford basic things, people worrying about being able to stay in their own home. I'm very worried about the state of our economy because our productivity's on the floor. Interest rates are probably going to go up again next year. And so we need to have a plan that focuses on those things. And what we've adopted by dumping net zero is a plan to put lower power prices first, to focus on that. So our focus, our number one focus, will be running our energy system to deliver the lowest possible prices for Australians.
Let me just move.
That's not how it's being done. It's not. Our government is not running our system for that purpose. They're running it to meet these global goals that, yes, get them applause at an international climate conference, but don't mean much to people who are struggling just to stay alive. Let me just
move on to a different topic. Was it a miscalculation by the coalition to allow the Greens to secure a deal with the government on the environmental laws last week?
It was bad laws. They were very, very bad laws. There was no case here that they were going to help improve matters. The laws are going to add red tape and
the question is around whether or not the coalition miscalculated in allowing a deal to be struck between the government and the Greens rather than making a deal themselves.
Well, this is like, I mean, the government acted effectively like a terrorist here, saying that, look, if you don't do a deal with us, farmers are going to cop it. I mean, that's what they're saying. They're saying now, so farmers have copped it because the government here has removed the ability for our nation's farmers simply to clear regrowth, to clear the same part of land they always have. They've effectively taken property rights of our nation farmers without any compensation.
Just to make it clear,
and they're saying to us, no, we didn't do that. The other side did that because they wouldn't agree with us. The government did that.
Just on that point, it's no longer free to clear regrowth forest if it's 15 years or more old, just to keep the facts there. But I guess the question that I'm trying to put to you is how that debate, how that negotiation over the laws got away from the coalition. Were they focusing too much on Barnaby Joyce and net zero?
No. I don't think it got away at all. I mean, as I said before, the most important thing is our vote. And I didn't want my name on a piece of legislation which was going to add green tape, slow down our economy, just because of the threat that if I didn't do that, the government was going to go hurt our nation's farmers. Because that's what the government's position is right now. The coalition's bad because they didn't agree with us on something they didn't agree with, so we went and hurt our nation's farmers instead. Well, there's a way we can fix this now, Sarah. Now we'll have a choice for the next election for the Australian people. Who do you want to support? Do you want to support the side that supports Australian farming, that wants to see us stay strong in food production? Or do you want to support a side that's gone off with a radical Greens party that now won't let farmers develop their own land?
All right.
I mean, imagine if they passed a law telling you can't build a shed in your backyard or something. That's the equivalent of what the government has done here.
On that point, Matt Canavan, I have to wrap it up, but thank you very much indeed for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sarah.